ESO Personalised, proud sponsor of the Impacted podcast. Why not visit their website on www.esopersonalised.co.uk. Your brand is our business.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Impacted with Bison and his co-host.
Coming out from the void and travelling ignorance through the empty space, it's the Joker.
Hey mate, I noticed you got a headset there.
Oh yes, got some. Hopefully, I should fix some little issues we've had. We're going on from the Jeff Jarrett and the Dixie Carter right now onto the Access era. Hopefully, getting some production sorted.
Exactly, improving those production values, just like Impact has been doing over the last couple of years. Certainly since the start of 2020, we've definitely seen some production improvements, haven't we?
Oh, that's been fantastic production so far.
So much better. Oh, look, I just realised I didn't put on my my new hat. Hang on. There we go. Full on the Bison. The Death Machine. Yeah, baby. Right, okay. So, yeah, well, let's talk about the format of the show, as we always do. So Impacted is obviously it is a different type of show to what we've seen on from Total Nonstop Impact. So far, at the end of the day, Total Nonstop Impact is a review show hosted by Trent J-Bone, and sometimes we have the scumbag in there as well. They do a fantastic job reviewing those shows every single week. But what we did was Trent and I and Jay, J-Bone, we had a big discussion. We decided, let's see if we can put something else together, something that we could put on the OG channel, and that's where Impacted the show began. Now we're into our 6th episode, so I'm really proud of that. Into our 6th episode. Last week we were talking about Moose. This week we're going to be talking about the lady from Hotlanta, which I think is definitely apt, considering we've got the A-Town Beatdown or whatever it is coming up in the next few weeks. So so who are we talking about, Joe?
We're talking about the gal on fire, Kiera Hogan.
Oh, we certainly are. She is a fantastic addition to the Impact roster. I think we could both agree on that, right?
Definitely. We're talking about it before we come on. She's someone that has always been there, and I think I've got high hopes for this year. I think now things are starting to mellow out for a bit more. I think this year they're going to give her a push. Well deserved.
Well, she's always been there. I mean, since she signed back in I think it's 2016 she signed. So back when she signed back in 2016, although she's not necessarily been pushing into main event or anything like that, she's always been there. She's been part of the storylines pretty much all the way through, hasn't she?
Definitely. From Taya Valkyrie to Ali, Rosemary, Sue Young, even Jordan Grace.
Oh, she's in there. She's in there with all of them. And I think it's great because what she's doing is she's also learning. She's a young girl. She's 26 years old. That's it. She's 26.
Still a baby face, even though she's now a heel.
Yeah, right. Still a baby, mate. Still a baby. Former promotions. She's worked with WSU, which is the Women's Superstars Uncensored. She was their Spirit of Wrestling champion. That was sort of like one of her first championships. She's also prominent on WOW. The Women of Wrestling, which is also on Access TV, which is great, isn't it? Because that sort of kind of, that basically shows that kind of like interaction between the promotions, which is wonderful to see. She's been on the, she started out effectively on the Atlanta circuit. Now, from what I can gather, because I don't know too much about her career prior to turning up on Impact. I did look her up, obviously, when she came on board. I was surprised to see that she's only 4'11". Did you know that?
No, I didn't. I thought she was about 5'2".
Just incredible, really, when you think about it.
Yeah.
Strong. She's fast. She's agile. But yeah, 4'11". incredible. I mean, you know, the only time you really see that is when she comes up, you know, and she stood next to someone like Taya Valkyrie, especially, who is, you know, she's got to be a 6-footer. I'm not sure what.
She's like 6'1".
Yeah, I mean, she's tall, you know, and she does have a habit of wearing platforms, don't she?
Yeah, she does make up for us from all sides one way or another. If it's even if it's her fighting spirit.
That's right. She definitely makes it. She's definitely full of fire. So yeah, we've got to keep saying that all the way through. Do you remember, like last week, we were going moose? Yeah, we need to make sure that this week we keep saying fire, because she's definitely the girl on fire. So so her early career, she did train in Atlanta. She was part of I think it was Booker T's promotion, ROW. I think Impact some stuff with them back in 2019. And also she was part of the Shine Wrestling in Florida as well. So she's been around a little bit. I mean, she's been wrestling for I think it's about 5 years now. So she's not, you know, she started a little bit later. I think she started. I've actually got it written down here. Let me have a quick gander. Let me have a little gander at my notes. I think she started wrestling around about sort of 18, 19. She wasn't, I know like Jordan Grace, for instance, I know that she started like, you know, back when she was 14 or whatever. But so she's not been wrestling quite as long as some of the other guys, considering, you know, I mean, 26, I'm not saying 26 is old, but someone, obviously Jordan is what, 24 is Jordan, something like that. And she's been wrestling.
25.
Yeah, she's been wrestling for like 10 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, she's not been wrestling.
Only got to look at Tessa Blanchard.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, she hasn't been wrestling quite as long, but you know, she has certainly been wrestling in some good circles. You know, I mean, obviously being involved with Booker T at ROW was a big thing. I know that Booker had a little bit of input as to, you know, letting Impact know that she was a pretty damn good prospect. I think that was part of the reason why they signed her, to be honest, because obviously they saw her, they liked her look. Booker T was recommending her. So I think that, you know, I think Booker had a little bit of a part in getting her in, you know, onto Impact TV, to be fair. I don't know if you know too much about that. Have you read anything about that?
I know Scott Demore and Don Callis, that their main goal is to get up and coming young talent and really, really push them forward. So Booker T had some input towards it, and so did Chris Jericho. They spoke to Chris Jericho about this on when they interviewed him about Access, when he did the interview about Access TV, and Kiera Hogan popped up a few times as well. That Chris Jericho had a lot of. He was really impressed with her as well, and he was really happy that she'd gone to Impact with Tessa Blanchard and guys like that. So Chris Jericho's got his eye on her as well, and
he definitely has his eye on her.
We all know about how good Chris Jericho is.
Yeah, we do. We do. He's definitely got an eye for talent, that's for sure. So obviously she had a little bit of stuff going on prior to coming into Impact, but nothing major. You know, I mean, I believe at one point she was an intergender champion for WWA, which was interesting. That obviously, and again, there's a bit of a pattern, I think, with knockouts, especially, as well as some of the male guys that have come into Impact recently, that they seem to have kind of a slight background in what they class or previously has been classed as intergender wrestling. They've all got experience of working with guys. So I think we could see a pattern here, right?
Yeah, Sue Young's another example. I've seen Kiera Hogan and Sue Young have a couple of matches at Bar Wrestling with some against Joey Ryan and other people like that. So they're no strangers to it, and I think it's a great way to break down barriers. You know, if they broke down barriers with Sami Callihan and Tessa Blanchard, and I'm not saying they're going to put Kiera Hogan in an intergender match anytime soon or anything like that, but it's an open door for them. It's something that they could always jump down to, and it's
a possibility.
Not out of the ordinary. Yeah,
you know, it's a possibility. She's got experience of doing it. She's going to understand how to work with the guys as well as the women. You know, at the end of the day, if there's an option, if there's a possibility to get to get Kiera involved in some kind of male, female, wrestling storyline, then obviously the option is there because she's got the experience. It's not like she would, be like a bit of a, like a fish out of water kind of scenario. She's been there. She's got a bit of experience in it. She was an intergender champion in another promotion. So there's no reason why she couldn't get involved in that. Now, the interesting thing is she signed with Impact in the August of 2017. Now, but we had to wait for a little while because if I remember right, she didn't actually debut until the February of 2018. And then she debuted, funnily enough, against the Knockouts champion of that time. That was Laurel Von Ness. And funny enough, she actually defeated her in a non-title match. So I think that was a pretty impressive, start to her, time in Impact, wasn't it?
It was. I think it was probably one of the other tipping points that got Laurel Van Ness just wanting to leave. But she wasn't putting her house into it, to be honest. So Kiera Hogan winning her debut match was a fantastic way to make a statement that she is a serious competitor and she was worth the wait.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I'm sure behind the scenes they were doing a lot of work with her to sort of possibly like say, well, there's certain things that when you work on TV you need to be doing, and helping her to make sure that when she did debut, she gave a good television performance as opposed to just a normal standard indie performance, I think that was important. Obviously, the fact that she got the win over Laurel in that debut match then obviously led to her earning herself a title match, which unfortunately she lost the following week to Laurel.
Yeah, it's a shame, but we don't want to see people come in and instantly grabbing championships all the time. So it was understandable, but to come in and just score the win to start off with was a great setup, really, to at least try and make Laura Van Ness's run seem worthy while it lasted. She then lost to Ali and then left. So it was going to, whatever happened with Laura Van Ness really was just water under the bridge after it had come and gone.
I mean, to be fair, I think Laurel was probably on her way, or planning on being on her way before that. And I think the problem is it when they wanted to bring in, probably wanted to bring in Kiera with a bit of a bang, but at the same time because she's an incredible young talent. At the time she was in her red and yellow, because obviously she's the girl on fire. So she had to effectively make sure that she came in with a bang. Now at that moment she was clearly a face. She was a face character. At that moment when she came in, her entrance was very lively. She would sort of kind of sidestep down the ring really quick, big smile, flicking her hair around. Just sort of kind of like basically saying, I'm here, big smile, love me, kind of type of, I'm definitely a face. You know what I mean? That was the way she entered the arena, and I think it fit her perfectly at that moment. Would you agree?
Yeah, it made her stand out, and it made her the centre of the spotlight, which is what you need to do if you're going to make an impact. Full pun intended.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, there's no point in debuting and not having, not really. I mean, I'm not saying having a pop as such, but you've got to create a buzz, right? You've got to create some kind of buzz from the minute you come on. So people can create that just by their presence. But if you're a new up and coming talent, then you've got to see enthusiasm, haven't you? You've got to see that kind of like, yes, I'm here and I'm so happy to be here, kind of. Especially if you're playing a face. I mean, if you're playing if you're a heel, then it's a completely different scenario. But if you're a face, then you've got to get over with the crowd as a face. And I think the way that she entered, came down the entrance ramp, big smiles, really quick, sort of kind of like slapping hands as she's going by, the usual kind of face entrance really of a young up and coming face. It done the job. I remember thinking, yeah, this girl's got something going on, and what's she got in the ring, And then we saw her, and wow, I mean, the girl is fast. She's strong. You know, she looks good. You know, and she seems to be able to interact with most people. You know, and she gave Laurel a hell of a match straight off the bat, and won, like you say. And then we go into the title match. You know, again, it was a hell of a match. It was a great match. Kiera had a great showing. You know, but she had to lose. She had to, because at the time, she's not ready to take on a title. But you want her to come in and have a big impact, and I'm pretty sure that from that moment on, everyone was pretty impressed with Kiera Hogan, regardless of whether she lost the following week in a title match or not. I think, you know, she made the bang that they intended for her, and I think she looked great on TV.
Yeah, it kept my interest in her, and when you could see she was over with the fans as soon as she come down. So she might have been a bit unknown to everybody watching on television, but she obviously had her name out there beforehand. And the fact that when she signed, they did hype her up a bit more when they were waiting for her to come in. So they kept the weight going, and they kept building the hype up a bit more. So she didn't come in as completely unknown. You knew she was going to be big, and again, she just backed it up when she came down to the ring.
Yeah, and I think, you know, what people I do get a little bit annoyed sometimes with some of the online stuff when you see people going on about Impact. You know, they don't have enough stars and all this kind of stuff. I said, well, that's because, you know, their remit is to make stars. You know, yes, they're gonna pull in the vets. You know, because your Rhinos, your RVDs, you know, they're going to bring these people in because at the end of the day, you know, the younger talents need to learn the business from somebody. So, and they need that. Sometimes you just need the rub, you know, from a bigger name. And the reality is, you know, once you get into your 40s and you know, your 50s, that is your job. You know, it's not about going out there and winning championships anymore. And the ones that want to go out there and continue to win championships are selfish. You know,
what they need. Not everyone's Goldberg and Chris Jericho.
No, exactly. You know, but you know, I think, yeah. I mean, I don't even want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about this fight. My views on that are quite strong. But you know, like, you know, at the end of the day, you know, that Impact builds stars, right? Some of the top stars in AEW and WWE were built in Impact. Fact.
Yeah.
That is a fact.
Yeah. Lucha Bros, LAX.
AJ Styles, you know, Samoa Joes. All these people were not massive, you know, they weren't, you know, what they are now until they'd worked for Impact. You know, and I think, you know, that's why I find sometimes when I see things like, for instance, what Kurt Angle wrote about, you know, he almost felt that you know, it was a shame that his best work was on a lesser, you know, you know, I mean, that upset me a little bit, because I'm thinking to myself, well, actually, a lot of people think that the you know, some of that older sort of TNA stuff was some of the best wrestling that was on TV at the time. You know, now. And what you should be saying is, wow, I'm proud that you know, I was a part of that, you know, in a big way. Or I could have just been on continuing on WWE, jobbing to all the people coming up. You know, like, let's face it, towards the end of his time in WWE, he wasn't being pushed, was he? So
no,
you know,
he walked out because he was pissed off with the fans more than anything else.
Yeah, all that "you suck" stuff.
Yeah, I do feel so. I feel a bit. I took what he said with a pinch of salt, because once you're back in with WWE and you're on their Hall of Fame, you're basically under Vince McMahon's thumb. So if you say anything against Vince McMahon, he'll wipe you off the sheet completely.
Yeah,
you know, he did that with CM Punk.
You're expected to basically kind of like disregard anything that you've ever done in your life, kind of thing, and the only thing that was any good was WWE. And I think, you know, that is pretty sad. It's pretty sad because, you know, Kurt busted his backside during his time in TNA, and look what happened. You know, he was amazing, and he had a massive fan base, and the fans loved him. for everything that he did. It's a real shame. I think it was almost like a kick in the teeth. But anyway, that's another subject. We're talking about the incredible girl on fire.
Yeah.
That's it. Now, obviously, she lost that title match. We then went on to see, you know, a few different things going on. You know, we're looking at that character building, aren't we? Now, we're looking at sort of she's building that face character. She then had her debut. Her pay-per-view debut at Redemption. Now, you know, she lost, but she lost to Taya Valkyrie. So, you know, let's face it, Taya Valkyrie, bigger name, you know, incredible talent. She deserved it at that time. She then went on to have a rematch with Taya, which then led, which actually, funny enough, Kiera won by DQ. So, of course, you know, we're getting a pattern here. She's being pushed, but they don't want her to win clean over their higher talents. So they're giving her a win. She's got a notch. She's got a win, but, you know, it's by DQ as opposed to pin. But, you know, that was basically due to an attack by Tessa Blanchard, which then led to a further defeat at the hands of Tessa. Again, you know, you're putting her in with the big girls, you know, so you're giving her the respect that you're putting her in with the big girls to learn, you know, but you're also trusting that, you know, she's going to put on a good match to help put over, you know, your Tayas and your Tessas, right?
Definitely. At times I felt it was a bit. When you see her in the match, you know she's going to lose. But she gave Taya Valkyrie a hell of a fight both times she's faced off against her, and she gave Tessa Blanchard a hell of a fight. There's been once or twice where she's been in a squash match with Taya Valkyrie because Taya Valkyrie was just a massive powerhouse. But that was to build Taya Valkyrie's character rather than make Kiera Hogan look weak. So. Kiera Hogan's is a bit like Moose in a way. She's there when she's needed to do what she needs to do, and she's. I think her time will come when she will really get the push she needs.
I mean, the bottom line is, you know, she's over with the fans, right? I mean, she's over with the fans. I think the fans like her a lot, regardless of whether she's a face or a heel. But I think she's over without any shadow of a doubt.
Definitely.
And I think that they built that, you know, that between them, you know, Impact and Kiera have gradually built that. Now she's over with the fans now. So like you say, eventually her time's going to come. So she's gone in. She then, she was then defeated by Tessa. But we then saw Madison make a save after Tessa attacked. Tessa attacked her after the match, because I think, if I remember rightly, Tessa beat her, and then she proceeded to basically give her a beatdown for absolutely no apparent reason. And then we saw Madison Rayne come in and basically save Kiera's backside at that moment, which I think was sort of kind of like almost the start of that friendship between them. Do you think?
Yeah, it was. Tessa Blanchard was getting pushed as a heel, and it was bringing out the nasty side of Tessa Blanchard a lot more. And when Madison Rayne or Gail Kim coming out to help Kiera Hogan, it all showed integration with that she can integrate with anyone in the locker room.
Yeah, that's good. And I think also what I think with that sort of kind of like Madison save, it also then, you know, it's that's Impact effectively creating a friendship or some kind of mentor situation between, the 25-time Impact World Champion Knockouts champion that was trained at the Heart Dungeon.
It's the best there is, the best and worst, the best there ever will be.
And the best. She is the best there ever was. So, Yeah. So, and I think that's been great for Kiera as well, because, you know, she's got that almost like that security blanket. She's got Madison saying, you know, giving her advice, helping her build her character, how she can get herself over, how she can create heat. All these elements are, I mean, Madison is great at creating heat. Like, she basically is a heat magnet, is Madison. But she can also be, she can turn it on a dime as well, because she can go from being this like proper, I'm going to create loads of heat, and then just suddenly she can turn it around and everyone love her again. And I think those are the sort of things that you know, I was going to say those are the sort of things that can't be taught, but I think they can be. You know, they can be taught, but you know, you also have to have that kind of spark in the first place, don't you? And I think that's the thing. Kiera's got the spark. She's got the spark. She just needs to learn. She still needs to learn kind of, you know, those sort of kind of little intricacies, those, you know, great things about that, how you can sort of kind of like, you know, suck the crowd in, or, you know, how you know, in any way, whether it be face or heel, you know, how you can just sort of kind of like get them in the palm of your hand, doing them exactly what you want them to. You know what I mean? And I think Madison is the perfect person to do that in the back. You know, I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, you've got Gail in there. I think what we're going to see over the next couple of years is Madison take a lot lesser ring, because the girl can still go in the ring. She'll take a slightly lesser role, and she'll end up working with Gail, I think. But anyway, that's for another podcast. So what we then went on to see was a friendship starting to build between Ali and Kiera, which pretty much led to a feud with Sue Young and the Undead Bridesmaids. Obviously, we're going to be talking about Sue in a different podcast. I think we've got a lot to talk about on that one. Which led to not that she ever has a lot to talk about, but we've got a lot to talk about her. But yeah, so I mean, that led to a pretty cool feud between sort of Ali. You know, Kiera was more of a kind of like a very much secondary role within the story. But she was there. She was crafting. She was learning all about doing, you know, like acting and doing the whole kind of Vignet stuff. But I think she had quite a crucial, a very important part in the sort of kind of like being Ali's friend. Do you agree?
Yeah. Ali needed a friend. Rosemary wasn't there for her, and so Kiera Hogan was like the friend in need, but and the friend indeed, but not in the backstabby way like the saying is meant to be used. So when Sue Young played off of that perfectly as well, and like you said, it was really to help boost Kiera Hogan's backstage ability with promos and just generally talking, because when you watch it back, and a lot of dialogue is a bit monotonous, if that's a fair point to make.
Well, I think maybe a little bit wooden.
Yeah, that's where I was going. Yeah,
that's about kind of you know, that's where, but it's learning. You know, she's learning. You know, she's young. She's new into it. At that moment in time, she was a bit wooden, but she's learning. You know, and having her in that kind of secondary role, I think, was the perfect place to have her, so that, you know, she could drive her character forward at the time, which was obviously a face, wanting to be a friend, wanting to help, wanting to be lovely, and all that kind of stuff. And it was working. And of course, you stick her in with Ali, who, you know, is also a beloved character. Yeah, I mean, people loved Ali, right? So it kind of, you know, I think that worked as well, because, you know, Ali is then elevating Kiera again into people's minds, to seeing that, you know, she's there, she's helping build Kiera, even though the story in reality is based more around Ali and Sue. You know, she's there. You know, you're
Yeah.
seeing her. She's building that character, and she's getting that practice that's needed. You know, to build her character and the other side of the wrestling business, which is the soap opera, right? You know, we've got to build that. We've got to build your character. We've got to get you over, and you've got to be able to act. You know, there's no point in getting into the wrestling business if you can't do, you know, everything. You know, you're never going to make it at the highest level if you can't talk, you can't do the acting side of things. You know, you can't promo, you can't think off the fly. You know,
especially not in the modern era.
Yeah, no, you've got to be able to, you know, because now they're letting wrestlers really go with it. They're letting people take. They're not writing scripts. They're saying, look, build your character, be you, get out there and be you, be comfortable.
Well, you've got to look at Rosemary.
Yeah, you've got to be comfortable in your own skin to be able to deliver something convincingly. Yeah, so I think, and they understand that, and I think that's one of the things that Impact do so well is that, you know, they understand that for something to work, you have to have that natural kind of delivery to make it believable. Sometimes it doesn't matter what you say. It's not about what you say. It's about how you say it, and how you put it across. You know, and I think that I think this is where Kiera was starting to learn. You know, she was under the learning tree, and she had Madison in her corner, which, you know, a bit more behind the scenes, but that was there. Madison was in her corner. She had a great friendship being built up with Ali at that time in her character, and she was learning some more skills to really start solidifying her as an all-round talent. And I think, you know, that's the bottom line. At the end of the day, if you're gonna you know, put a title on somebody, then they've got to be able to sell it like convincingly, haven't they? They've got to be able to carry that.
They need, like you said, they need all the tools in the right box. Yeah,
and that's the thing with you know, with Tessa, with Taya. You know, Taya had that reign for so long. They didn't. I bet they didn't plan on doing that. You know what I mean? She was I think she was doing such a great job that when it got to the point where they're like, wow, hang on a minute, you know, we're getting to the point where she's about to be the longest reigning champion. Let's now pick that up. That's the next thing that we can use to keep elevating her, keep the story going, keep the title reign moving. You know, because like I say, I'm sure that wasn't the initial plan. But I think it got to that point where she was doing such a great job that, hey, you know, let's use it. You know, that's the tool. And you've got to be able to carry it. You know, there's no point in sticking a title on somebody that cannot carry that title. So you have to build your talent. You know, you have to be an all-round incredible talent. Again, same thing that they've been doing with Jordan. At the end of the day,
definitely.
You know, they took their time. They built her up. You know, they gave her different segments. I still don't think Jordan is the best talker. I'm not going to lie. I don't think she's the best talker. But she can talk, and I think she can. You know, it might not be anywhere near as long as Taya, but she will carry that title. She'll do a good job. She's going for that whole fighting champion thing rather than, I think, the storyline type scenario. Which I think is clever. I think that's exactly the way they should go with it, because I think if they start going with character building with her, it's going to fail. So
it's going to make it dull.
Yeah, I don't think that's her strong point. But, you know, moving in with Kiera, I think because they're building her, they're testing her out, they're adding to her character. They're, you know, she's learning, and she's learning fast. You know, she's improving. You know, it's not slow. But, you know, that storyline with the Sue Undead Brides, you know, that started to build. I mean, it ended up with the in the Undead Realm, if I remember rightly. And Ali saving her. That was at the Bound for Glory pay-per-view, I think, if I remember rightly.
Yes.
that was pretty cool. Later in 2019, she faced Rosemary in a grudge match, which again stemmed to some backstage issue where she'd been trying to help Rosemary, but lost in a DQ, and Sue Young and her bridesmaids had attacked Rosemary, and she was trying to, and eventually I think it got to that point where she just completely refused to help anybody anymore.
Yeah.
I think this is where we started to see that heel turn, isn't it?
Yeah. After Ali died, Kiera Hogan, she gave up on everybody else, basically.
Yeah. I mean,
she didn't cry like everybody else.
No, she tried to. I think what she did was she tried to sort of kind of like align herself with Rosemary, like say, look, Ali was my friend too.
Yeah.
She might have been your bunny, but she was also my friend. And she tried to sort of kind of like cement that friendship, almost like replacing Ali, if you know.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what she was trying to do, but kind of like, creating that dynamic again. She was trying to do that, say, look, Ali's my friend too. I'm gutted about all of this. I want revenge. But Rosemary's like, no, I'm dealing with this myself. I don't need anybody. We can deal with it. Of course, because there's several people inside Rosemary's head. So we have to remember that we're dealing with we there. So, I think, and then obviously she's out there. We had this big thing going on. There was Rosemary's getting a beat down. And Kiera just basically went, you know what? Sod you. I'm off. and just, that was it. She walked off. And before you know it, she's turned heel, right?
Definitely. She comes back with it. She goes away for a while and she comes back with the blue hair, and the heat at the moment just literally turned up even more.
Yeah. Well, I think that she before that happened, I think she pulled a really good backstage promo where she was talking about claiming that she's tried to be friends with people. It's just not working. It's not happening. It's not doing her any good. So yeah, time to move on, kind of thing, and split the line.
Yeah.
I think that was the turning point. That promo for me was really, really good. And yeah, as a backstage kind of interview scenario, wasn't it? It was one of those backstage interview promos. And I think that was a really, really solid promo. And then, like you say, she sort of kind of disappeared for a little bit. I think, and then, like you say, she came back as the colours of the hottest fire. Obviously, the blues and the whites, etc. And became the hot flame that she is from Hotlanta. But again, she was then the heel, and I like the heel, Kiera. Do you?
Oh, it's working out a lot better for her, and it's bringing up that bad attitude that Don Callis was waiting for a long time. And 2019, she was the most improved knockout on the roster. You can't argue with that. So that's something I agree with. I can't really think what I was supposed to say. It brought coming back with the heel turn and the whole new look and everything started to bring out the best in her. And I have to say again, I do think this year is only going to get better.
Yeah. I mean, from that moment on, we saw a different attitude. We saw a very confident, not caring about what other people think so much anymore. But I think we're seeing a real confident, hard hitting in the ring. I mean, God, blimey,
yeah.
She can lay one on you, right?
Yeah, she's not a pushover anymore.
No, and I think she is one of those wrestlers. She's actually if you think about it, she's probably in the similar vein to your Tyas, your Tessas, and your Jordan Grace, in the sense that they're hard hitting. It's a strong style. you know, it's believable that when Kiera clotheslines you, you know, she goes for it. When she, you know, when she slams into you, when she runs at you, you know, she's going at 100 mile an hour. You know,
sprinting's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, when she gets in that kind of like, you know, offensive flourish that she does, it's like you blink, you've missed 2 or 3 moves, because she's just so quick, and she just comes at you with everything she's got, and I think, you know, again, you know, when you add that to her more heel kind of don't care less about anybody else, I'm just here, I'm arrogant, I'm good at what I do, and I'm going to kick your butt, is effectively the attitude that she's putting on there. Like, I'm not scared of anybody, I'll fight anybody, I'm the best. And I think it goes with her skill set in the ring. You know, I mean, she's a badass. She might be short, but she's a badass.
Yeah, no, I can't think of what else to say at the moment. I think you've took the words out of my mouth. Really, she's just a legitimate badass now.
Yeah, she is a legitimate badass. So, you know, what we then sort of went on to see. I mean, we've seen a few matches tilting towards the tail end of 2019. We then saw that kind of like friendship. Well, that frenemy, or what have they, frenemy or frenemy or frenemy. Sort of kind of friendship build between her and Madison again, which I think, you know, putting her back with Madison is again a way of elevating her a bit more, and bringing her back sort of kind of in that mentor-y type scenario. However, I really like the way they did that whole kind of like, well, I'm better than you, now you're better than me, and it was, I thought initially the way they did that was really, really clever, and then they sort of kind of like end up as this like reluctant partnership.
Yeah, they have to battle with each other, and then they've got Taya Valkyrie begging them for assistance all the time, and they're just shooting her down.
Yeah, exactly. So
it was more character development.
Again, more character development. The both of them are sort of kind of like in this heel scenario, aren't they? I mean, you've got Madison walking around, you know, being the apparently the locker room leader now, LRL. God, blimey, that's a tongue twister. LRL. So the old locker room leader sort of kind of thing going on. You've got Kiera who's almost like, oh, whatever. And I think that do you know what, like, I think the dynamic between the two has worked really, really well. I don't know. What do you think?
I have to agree. The attitude change from Kiera Hogan was much needed. I'm going to probably just be going back to repeating what I said before. That the heel turn was what's bringing the best out of her now, especially backstage segments and that with Madison Rayne, with when she's had Rosemary come up to her a few times, or Jordan Grace, she's just shot them down. When before if she'd shoot them down, it would be a bit more soft, especially with Jordan Grace. After she came back from the Undead Realm, Jordan Grace had confronted her a couple of times, and it wasn't really a convincing back off, I just want to be on my own type thing. But when Kiera Hogan came back again as a full-blown heel, she just shot everybody down.
Yeah, I think that you know, her sort of kind of tenure so far on Impact has seen incredible progress. She is obviously you know, she's obviously a mainstay. You know, they see something in her, and they're willing to put the time, the effort, and the money into building her up. And you know, her, and I think, like you said, you know, if there's anyone that's incredibly improved, or the most improved knockout, you know, all round, like we're talking about, this whole kind of like the package, the whole package has improved incredibly over the last sort of 12, 18 months. You know, and they've done it slowly, catchy monkey, and that is how you build a star, right?
Yeah, it's certainly paying off for her elsewhere. She's booked in so many different other indie promotions now. So Impact's making her a superstar, even if she's not got a belt on her at the moment in Impact. And this goes back to what I was saying about Moose last time. You don't need a belt at Impact to make yourself a megastar. And
No.
Impact that's what Impact's goal was, to get all this young and hungry talent, boost them up however they can. And if they get a belt, they get a belt. If they don't, they don't. As long as they're getting booked in other promotions.
Exactly.
Making a name for themselves, and that's what the Impact wants to do. I shot someone down yesterday who was bitching about how Impact's not bringing in big names yesterday. I don't know if you've read the comment yet. Oh God, he was complaining, oh, Impact needs to start bringing in all these big talent and everything. Wow. I shot him down basically.
They were
saying 2018 wasn't as good as what it is now. 2018, end of 2018, all of 2019 and 2020 has been the best segment of Impact, best what I've seen from Impact Wrestling since I started watching at the end of 2015.
Yeah, without doubt. I mean, the way that they built it, and the thing is that they've been so clever. Like people, I don't understand how people can't see this. You know, don't get me wrong. You know, there are still things that can improve, and there are still, like, it's certainly the marketing side of it. I think they need to look at that marketing side. They need to, you know, start to invest a little bit more in kind of, you know, promoting the shows and all the rest of it to fill those, just to fill those places up and get more eyes on the product from a like a live show scenario. You know, at the end of the day, if you don't fill your wherever it is that you're doing your tapings, then it doesn't matter how good the in-ring is, then the taping's going to be lifeless and soulless, right? So it needs to, and that, in fact, in 2019 and in 2018, some of the issues that I think created that kind of, like, whether it was a good show or a bad show, was the fact that, you know, they weren't miking the crowds well enough. So it came across, even though the matches were good, the storylines were good, it almost came across very lackluster from the people in attendance, right?
They only got to look at Mexico.
But then I go to a show, and I can tell you that even though, you know, I went to the Melrose Ballroom, which is quite a small venue, and it's a smaller ring that they're using at that moment. I think there must have been probably, you know, 400 or 500 people in there, maybe. You know, it wasn't a massive venue for TV tapings, but that crowd was electric, mate. They were loud. They were loud from the minute you know the matches started to the last match, and you're in there quite a long time because, you know, over the night they're trying to get in probably at least 2 shows worth of matches, so it's quite a long, you know. And yes, you are going to get your lulls because people get tired towards the end of the, you know, especially when you've been there for like 4 or 5 hours, you're starting to get a bit tired now. Regardless of how good the matches are, you are going to get your lulls in there, right? But the crowd were raucous. Now, when I watched it on the TV, not quite the same sound that I was hearing when I was there. So, you know, I think that didn't help some of the shows in 2018 and like some of 2019. But as we sort of kind of
definitely the earlier time.
As we've come into 2020, the end of 2019, 2020, and we've seen that production value increase and the way that they're miking the crowds now, we're getting a much more kind of realistic kind of view or sound of what it actually sounds like in the arenas. And I think that is lifting and elevating the quality of the product that's coming across on TV now. Like, commentary's good in my opinion. I do think they need to think about mixing things up a little bit though, especially like you know, maybe for pay-per-views it shouldn't be Don and Josh. Maybe it could be Don, Josh, and they bring in, you know, someone else like
D'Lo Brown.
D'Lo
Brown's good.
Yeah, D'Lo would be good.
He's great on the Impact Plus.
Haven't they got Matt Stryker now, or whatever his name is, involved in Impact? I believe the guy that was.
I think he's in production or something like that. You know, Matt. So
Is it
Matt Striker would be a good.
Yeah, you know,
I think
like,
it is.
bring him in just to do the pay-per-views or something, you know, or do the do the Impact Plus specials. You know, I know that they've started to mix it up a little bit, you know, but I don't know. Sometimes I think maybe they could do with a little bit of a change on commentary. And I know that's why they bring in, like, you know, they'll have, I don't know, Moose come in and sit on the desk and do something for a match, just to sort of kind of break it up. So you've got that different voice coming across and stuff. And I know that Kiera's done it, Madison's done it. Who else has done it?
Taya Valkyrie.
Has done it. You know, and I think that does work. It does kind of break it up a little bit, and it does effectively create that different texture and that different sound. But I just think that, you know, you need, maybe it needs to happen a little bit more often. I think maybe the pay-per-views is the option. So I'm not saying necessarily take Don off or take Josh off. I'm thinking pay-per-views add.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely
add a voice. So maybe a Matt Striker, maybe a D'Lo Brown, maybe Don Callis, you know, because I think Don's pretty good as well. Don's got a great voice. Do you not think? He's got an amazing wrestler voice. You know what I mean? He's a bit like, it's like Sammy. Sammy's got an amazing voice. Like, you know, like he also sounds like bigger than he is as well. Do you not think? Like, and Don Callis.
Scott D'Amore?
Scott D'Amore. Yeah, sorry, I'm talking about Scott D'Amore. Yeah. Sorry, Scott D'Amore has got an amazing voice, right? Amazing wrestler voice. And I think when you put him on commentary, it just adds a different texture because
he's got more enthusiasm.
Yeah. You need that. You know, it's a bit like. Do you know what I think it's missing? It's missing kind of like that Don West, that Mike Tenay. You know what I mean? That kind of, you know, person that just goes nuts at like big finishes and do you know what I mean? Like that's the one thing that in the moment we're lacking. I think if they were to bring in that kind of commentator, that would also again then elevate the production. You know, what you're seeing on TV, it would just elevate it that little bit more. But you know what we're seeing now. I mean, the quality is really good. Anyone that slags it off is not watching the product. That's my fault, right? Like
they're
anyone
bitching for bitching's sake.
Yeah. Anyone that's slagging it off is clearly not watching it. And do you know what gets me the most? Is when someone turns around and says, "Oh, I've not been watching it for ages, because it sucks."
Yeah.
Well,
you know,
how do you know it sucks then? Because like, if you haven't been watching it over the last, like, they go, "Oh, last time I watched it was when so and so," you know, and this would be like 18 months ago, right? And you're like, but you're saying it sucks now. Like, it may have sucked 18 months, 2 years ago. You may not have liked it very much, but now it doesn't suck, right?
No,
like
now
you're talking about something which, you know, is ages ago. Well, they'll go, "Oh, I haven't watched it since Alberto Padron came in and won the title. What a load of bullshit." You know, and you're like, actually, that was a bad move. That was a bit of bullshit. You know, I get that. But, like, really? You've not watched it since? Like, it just, you know, that sort of thing really winds me up. Because I just think to myself, you know, if something doesn't quite go your way, if something is happening that you're not too keen on, well, just don't watch those segments. You know, fast forward it and watch the rest of it. Because the rest of it's, you know? So... that sort of stuff sort of kind of winds me up. So anyway, we're going on a tangent here, mate. We're going on a tangent. We need to get back to
do a separate. We'll have to do a separate podcast just to vent out all the frustration.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. Yeah, let's do a podcast all about tossers online. But anyway, and let's name and shame them all as well. But yeah, no. Let's get back to the girl on. Yeah, baby. Yeah. So I think Impact done a great job in the way they've elevated her. They brought her through. You know, they've given her parts in storylines, whether it be secondary or prime, whatever. They've been pushing it through. They haven't put a title on her. They don't need to put a title on her. She's doing a great job, and they're elevating her anyway. So eventually, when you do put a title on her, you're going to go, man, she deserves it. Rather than, oh, let's just stick a title on her, you know. And I think that's worked really, really well. I mean, when we move through sort of kind of into 2020, you know, I think, you know, we're not quite seeing as much of her at the minute. But I think, you know, as we start building into the A-Town stuff, we'll start seeing her a bit more, because obviously, you know, she's going to be a local favourite. People will know her. And I think that will be an incredible, you know, a incredible build. I mean, you know, when they were at Chicago for Bound for Glory back in October, you know, she literally just come out as you know, as a lesbian with her girlfriend Diamante, who, again, actually, that's someone else. I don't understand why we're not seeing her on Impact anyway. Again, another story. We're seeing Impact supporting her through, which for her is obviously a big thing. You know, they were helping promote her. She was going doing talks, and they were promoting the fact that she was going and doing, you know, talks about you know, being homosexual in the wrestling industry. How, you know, how that kind of, you know, how it's been perceived these days. I think she was, you know, and it was great, you know, fantastic. And I think, again, you know, all of these things are helping build Kiera as a character, regardless, you know, it's just building her, it's elevating her.
Yeah.
She's become the public figure. People are getting to know her. You know, it doesn't matter what the subject is. At the end of the day, she's getting more recognition. She's being noticed. People, you know, whether she's giving a speech on, you know, being a homosexual or lesbian in wrestling, or, you know, whether she's just going around doing her thing, you know, she's bringing eyes to the product, and the bottom line is that is what a wrestler's supposed to do, right?
Yeah, all eyes on me.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't mean that in a patronising way, guys. If you're listening, I mean that in a positive way.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's exactly what needs to be done. You know, it doesn't matter whether you're a face or a heel. At the end of the day, the plan is to make people want to tune in to see what your antics are going to be this week. You know, whether you're playing a good guy or a bad guy, it doesn't really matter. What matters is if people want to watch you and they want to see you perform. And that is, you know, that's why Sami Callihan is the draw. Yeah, the Death Machine is the draw, because people want to know, what is he going to get up to now?
You know, Tessa Blanchard's another one.
Tessa Blanchard. I mean, yesterday I just thought they'd released a thing about they're doing like a behind the scenes thing, a diary for Tessa, obviously up to Hard to Kill and around that time when she won the world title and stuff. Did you see the actual the advert for that? Did you see the promo?
Yeah, I saw it this morning. I'm looking forward to it.
But how good was that promo? Like, how well put together was that? Did that really make you want to watch it?
Yeah, I saw one for they did one for Sami Callihan. I've not seen it, but I've heard what Jessica Havoc's had to say about Sami Callihan. You know, he's his biggest critic, and Tessa Blanchard's the same. She's got a lot of weight on her shoulders, being a third generation superstar with two big names behind her already, and
it's just incredible.
Smash down so many barriers in such a short time, and
that's
a hell of a lot of stress.
I can't wait to cover it. I really
it would break most people down.
Yeah, I can't wait to cover Tessa. I got to be honest. When we get to her, I'm going to be. Yeah, I've got a lot to say. She's incredible.
A lot to say for Sami too.
Yeah, no, definitely incredible. Now, you know, I mean, Kiera, she's built the you know, she's been practicing. You know, she's obviously been looking in the mirror. I like that one, don't I? She's been practicing. She's been doing her promos. You know, she's been getting involved in the big net. She's been in pretty much she's been in the storylines pretty much for the last 2 years solid, right?
Yeah.
So I see big things for Kiera. I think if Kiera Hogan doesn't end up as a knockout champion, not necessarily this year, but if she doesn't end up eventually a knockout champion, then it would be a travesty. I think the girl
will be a bit of a big loss.
Yeah, it would be awful. I think the girl's got incredible talent inside and outside the ring, and I think we've got a lot to come from Kiera Hogan, and I can't wait to see where it goes.
Yeah, she's really she's built up the Atlanta show that's coming. She's given a big promo about how she's got that coming there to make a statement. So
yeah. I know what I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, quick one. I know what I was going to ask you. What do you think of her new hairstyle?
Oh wow. I'm really sad to see the blue hair go. But,
yeah, so was I. I was like, oh no, oh man.
I love the little afro. It's just another attitude change for her. And again, it's reinventing herself, and it's she's changing her attitude again from to a bit more of a serious competitor. So if you're going to change your attitude, you might as well change your entire look. Yeah. Reinvent yourself.
I'm not saying I didn't like it. I was just a bit like, I was shocked. I was taken back a little bit because I think
I was taken back.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, hang on a minute, who's this? She looked really different, like really different, didn't she?
Yeah. It's like, where's the blue? It's all gone.
Yeah. What's going on? But yeah, no, I mean, it's different. We'll see where it's going to go. Like I said, I see really, really big things for her. I don't know. I don't know where it's going to go from a story, in terms of storylines. I think her character build has been incredible. She's, like you said, she started off as we see her start off as a face. She moved on to a heel. She's doing a great job as a heel. I'm interested to see where she goes from here. Is she going to sort of maybe come up with a bit of a combination of the two? Because I think, there's quite a lot of stars out there that, like Rosemary's a classic. She's sort of kind of a heel character, but at the same time is a face.
Yeah. She's so over with the crowd.
So I wonder whether Kiera can end up going down that same kind of route, that she's sort of kind of a heel, but I suppose you can, I don't know, you could take her down the route of she's a badass. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And that's effectively what she is. She is a badass, and like whether she's healing it up or whether she's facing it up, it doesn't really matter, because she's just a badass. And I think that's a cool way forward for her. And I'm really, really looking forward to seeing what they do with her and how far she's going to go. And I really, really hope one day we see her with that title. I think that would be amazing. I think it'd be a really, I think it'd be like the happy ending to the build, to the story of her time with the company.
Yeah, I've said a similar thing to Moose. These two have put a lot of work in, and I've said already once or twice that they don't need gold to show how good they are, but they deserve it.
Yeah, they deserve.
They deserve some recognition for what they've done. Moose is getting a bit pissed off about it now as well, to be honest. I don't know if it's just promo building or not, but you read his Twitter feeds, he is getting really, really irate about it. I think he's pushing for a mid-card title, so hopefully something comes of that. I'm 100% sure what to make of the concept he's put forward, but he needs something to make it. He needs something to make his own. And Kiera Hogan needs.
Maybe he does. I honestly believe he's going to take the title off Tessa, but I think it's going to be him that takes that title eventually from Tessa. I really, really do. And who knows? Maybe the swerve of ICU is it's Moose.
That would be brilliant. That would be one of the biggest unexpected outcomes ever. Yeah. I'm convinced it's Matt Hardy or Sami Callihan, but I think Matt Hardy's recently said he's going to he's got Matt Hardy's releasing a video this week about where he's going with his contracts and everything now. So I think he's going to AEW because the Dark Order there dropped a hint about some obsolete figure coming in. So I think it's a reference more to Matt Hardy than to Jeff Hardy, because Jeff Hardy's still in the WWE contract.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, but if it's Sammy Callahan and Matt Hardy at ICU, regardless, I'm going to be excited to see Sammy again, and I'm going to be over the moon to see Matt Hardy again. But if it's Moose, that's just going to blow everything.
I think we've got some seriously exciting stuff ahead of us. I've said so many times, I think 2020 is going to be a really good year for the brand. They're doing some big things. They're moving to bigger venues. We're getting sellout crowds, which we've not had for a long time. So I think we're going to, production values are going up. I think we're going to start seeing different set changes. I think we're going to see the odd big star come in. Like I say, I still think Matt is coming to Impact. Now, whether he's part of ICU, no idea. But I still think Matt will come to Impact because I think he knows that that's where he's going to get the most reign of creativity, because that's what we do. That's what that's all part of what they do. They are, and I just, for me, Jimmy Jacobs, Matt Hardy, that there would be no better creative team in the industry today. That's it. There is that is your pinnacle of creativity right there. No one would touch them.
No.
So yeah. But anyway, we keep sidetracking here. We're supposed to be talking about the girl on fire. So yeah, I mean, like I say, I see some big things for Kiera in the future, and I wish her all the best of luck, because we really enjoy watching her, don't we, mate? We do. We enjoy her.
We love her.
Yeah, I think she's incredible talent, and it's great to see that she's being treated and built so well by Impact, that she is going to be one hell of a star in the future. So here's to Kiera. Good luck, girl. You've got it going on.
Good luck to her.
Okay. So so I mean, that leaves us to sort of kind of wrap things up really for today. We're going just over an hour, so that's not too bad for someone who's only been in the company for a couple of years. So there's there was a lot to talk about with her, a lot of positive stuff going forward. And I think, this has been a good one, I think, today. I've enjoyed it today, guys. I really have enjoyed it. Yeah.
I see one of two options for Kiera Hogan going forward. She's either going to go for Jordan Grace's title, because Jordan Grace has beaten her for the number one contender spot several times. So Kiera Hogan's going to go after the title, or she's going to get pissed off with Madison Rayne doing this thing that she's doing now, and she's going to go after her and build a character on from there. But
build a story
I'd like to see her go for Jordan Grace, to be honest, and at least give Jordan Grace a bit more of a push as champion, if all else.
Yeah, no, without doubt. And I think maybe eventually, I think Jordan. I think what they're doing with Jordan at the moment with this sort of like bringing in people for her to basically, beat, is good. I think they're also testing out some sort of slightly unknown, some young talent coming through. I thought that the girl they brought in the other week, I've forgotten what her name was now. It was a car. Maserati or something.
I think so.
Was it Maserati? Yeah, something like that. I thought she was pretty good, actually. And there was a girl that they did this week, which had the mask thing on. She's half lucha or something. She has half a mask because she feels she's a hybrid between lucha and American wrestling or whatever it was. I thought she had a good showing as well. She was pretty good.
She was good.
So I think, they're giving opportunities to some young up-and-coming knockouts. So saying, look, come on, prove yourself. Give us a good show us your character, to see how you get over. you know, who knows, she could be the next one signed. Because again, I think the roster is still quite small. Everyone gets involved. Everyone gets involved. I actually thought that Amber Nova was signed. I don't know why, but I was pretty sure. Not Amber. Is it Amber Nova?
Alexa Nicole.
Alexa Nicole. That's right. I thought Alexa Nicole had actually signed. I could have.
So did I.
I could have swore that I saw an announcement that she was signed. But she's not on the roster page.
No,
and obviously
she's up there in Canada.
Yeah, we only really see her when when we're in Canada, so which I think is a real shame, because I think, you know, she's got a bit of talent there, and she's quite over. She's certainly over up there. Which is probably why, you know, obviously why they'll use her during the Canadian tapings and stuff. But I don't know. I think
she'd be a good one to work with Kiera Hogan to bounce off each other.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that the roster just needs maybe one or two more.
Needs a bit of stability.
It just needs a couple more solid workers. You know, so that we got a bit more variety. We've got a few more people in there to sort of kind of, even if it's just to elevate others, we just need a couple more to be signed, that, you know, we can see on a regular basis and stuff. But yeah, I think without doubt now, though, Kiera has definitely solidified herself as, you know, a really strong character, a really strong worker that the Impact Impact can rely on to put out a good show. I mean, you know, one match that I wanted to bring up actually was a Tenille Dashwood match. Now, you know, I mean, Tenille has not impressed me at all, but like you watch that match, and Kiera was trying so hard to sort of kind of carry the match, wasn't she? She made Emma look mediocre, you know. Well, actually, she didn't even make her look mediocre. She tried to. You could see she was really trying to help Tenille look good. She really carried that match. Do you think?
I thought Kiera Hogan was the highlight of the entire match, and the same when Tenille Dashwood went on to face Taya Valkyrie, and Taya Valkyrie was the highlight of the entire match. Tenille Dashwood just seemed to show as much effort as Ali did near the end of her time at Impact. It's just half-assed. Kiera Hogan's match against Tenille Dashwood was fantastic on Kiera's part, but for her to carry the entire match herself, she must have been fuming afterwards more than anything else. I'm surprised she kept her nerve and just didn't just whack her one.
Oh yeah,
so you get your ass in gear.
What the hell's the matter with you? You know, we're in front of a crowd here.
Yeah.
You know, let's put on a show. What the hell's the matter with you? But I don't know. I think, I don't know. Like, to me, like, Tenille is a waste of money. I get why they wanted to bring her in. She's a former WWE talent, got a name, got a following. She's got quite a lot of followers on Twitter. I don't know if you've seen. So she has got quite a following. So, you know, is the sort of person that you could see is worth bringing in, even if it's just for a short period of time, even if it's just to, you know, just elevate a pay-per-view or whatever. Put the extra name on the thing, put bums on seats, basically. But she didn't do it. She doesn't do it.
No,
she's not.
She doesn't.
She's just lackluster. Whether it's ring rust, because obviously she was away from the ring for a while. Whether it's the type of character that they're asking her to portray, or she wanting to portray, whatever, I don't know. But it's not working. You know, it was almost like actually Kiera was the veteran in that match.
Oh yeah,
because she was great. You know, she did great. She tried so hard. You could see her like literally trying her best to really carry that match, to really try and elevate the pair of them. You know, because at the end of the day, like the end of the day, regardless. I mean, put it this way: I think Kiera came away from that match strong. Tenille came away from that match weak because everybody could see how hard Kiera was trying to make that match good. it wasn't a good match. I mean, yeah, Kiera was doing her best to make it as good as it could be, but it wasn't a good match. It's probably the worst match that I've ever. It's the worst match that I've seen her in on Impact. For me,
yeah, it's one of the most disappointing in terms of performance, and the outcome, because she did, of course, lose. But it was a massive letdown, seeing how much momentum they built up for 2019 as a company, and then they brought that in, and it was like going off a cliff, like lemmings.
Yeah, it was crazy, and the crowd was like, you could see them like.
Yeah, there's like, what the fuck's this?
Yeah, this is shit. It's like watching paint dry, I think. But yeah, so and I think that also shows the maturity that Kiera has built now over the period of time. That she's been working with the Impact brand. Okay, so we need to bring this to an end. Bottom line, Kiera is awesome. Yeah, agree?
Yeah,
we all agree.
Oh yeah,
Kiera's awesome. Fantastic character development over the last 2 years. Well done, you. We cannot wait to see what we've got to come from Kiera over the next sort of 12 to 18 months. And fingers crossed that'll end with a nice bit of gold around her waist, which would be, I think, the icing on the cake and show that Impact is the brand that builds incredible stars. Now, so I'd just like to do a couple of things, really. As always, I'd like to thank the Total Nonstop Impact guys, Trent, J-Bone and Scumbag, for allowing us to put this on their channel.
Cheers, guys.
It's a fantastic job. They're also being like mentors to us as well, helping us improve our podcast, making it better. And I hope you guys can see the differences that we've made over the last 6 episodes. I think each one seems to have sort of kind of got better. We've got better sound quality this time. We're working on the production access era as it is. So it's all definitely improving, and we're going to continue improving in the future. Please leave your comments. Don't forget to like at We Talk Impact on Twitter. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, the Total Nonstop Impact YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe there, and of course, smash that bell, because then you won't miss,
guys.
You won't miss any upcoming episodes of anything that those guys are doing. We do have of course, they do the T&I Throwback Show, as well as the weekly review show of Impact, which is a great show. Always fun to watch. And I think their shows are improving all the time too. And I think it helps it that the Impact product is so good that they've got they've got so much great things to talk about in such a positive way. So I think that I think that's great. So just want to say thank you to you guys, and make sure you guys subscribe and like and do whatever you need to be doing to get all of our content over the coming months and years. I'd like to thank our sponsor, ESO Personalize. Don't forget, your brand is their business. So they're for supporting the Impacted podcast. Get over to their website, check out what they do. If you're a business and you're looking to elevate, or you're looking for branded clothing or anything like that, they're definitely the company to be working with. And if you're a wrestler or a promotion, and you're looking for a company to work with to help elevate your brand, print your t-shirts, whatever, then esopersonalize.co.uk. That's for you guys. Get over on there. Go and check them out. So that's great. One last thing. Where can we find you, Joe? Where can we find you on social media?
Follow me on Twitter at JOK empty space. You can if you no, I'll leave it there.
Yeah, you don't want to. I thought you were going to let us know about your Facebook as well, but that's no problem. So so please follow Joe on Twitter. He's a great promoter. He loves sharing all of his insights in wrestling. He also loves passes stuff around to make sure nobody misses anything. Loves sharing stuff, which is fantastic. But if you're looking to follow the Bison, then make sure that you're looking at JB Hawk. That's at JBHAWKE on Twitter. I'm also on Facebook as Jason Hawk if you're looking to follow me. I do love talking with people about wrestling, especially Impact Wrestling. That's my favorite promotion. But I do like talking about other promotions too. AAW, I like Wrestling Revolver. I do watch a bit of AEW. But whatever you do not talk to me about EWW. Oh, sorry, WWE.
God, don't get it wrong. Trent will be if you get it wrong.
So don't talk to me about that. I'm not interested in that in the slightest.
Trent, put the chair right down.
Yeah, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in the ooh, because that's what I call it. Ooh.
Yeah.
So
Play school.
Yeah. Well, if you're into children's wrestling, go and watch that. If you're into proper wrestling, then come and watch Impact. You know,
Much respect for the roster.
Exactly. Yeah. So no, great job. So make sure you listen to us every single week. Impacted. We put out fresh new content every single week on a different character. We love talking about it, as you could probably tell. We've been going now for an hour and 20 minutes. We love talking about the characters of Impact. And I really hope that you guys enjoy listening to us. Please smash the like, leave us a comment. We'd love to hear what you think. Joe is great at replying. I'm a bit busier, so I don't necessarily get so much time to reply. But Joe loves listening to your comments and replying. So please leave us a comment, leave us a like, share us around, make sure all your friends and family know about us. And of course, the We Talk Impact, Total Nonstop Impact channel. Really, really important. That is, subscribe, smash that bell so you never miss a listen. Anyway, guys, take care and we'll see you next week.
Take care, guys.
Bye.